can reach you there. That should be good. Let's do a little checky check.
Hello.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
Okay. All right, well, what are we going to talk about?
Yeah, what are we going to talk about? It's been a minute.
It has. Okay, ready?
Yeah, ready or not, here we come.
All right.
Welcome to Hallway Conversations. We are a group of educators who have plenty of questions about teaching and learning and school culture, and we believe in the value of reflection and collaboration as we seek to keep growing as teachers. This podcast is our place for thinking out loud together about issues in education and why they might matter to Christian educators. We're glad you're with us. Welcome to the conversation.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to Hallway Conversations. My name is Abby DeGroat.
And I'm Dave Mulder.
Thank you for joining us in the hallway for another conversation. It has been a while.
It has been a while. Oh, man. Oh, so one, I should share this a second. If you've been listening to the show, dear friends who are listening in here, we hit a milestone recently. I thought it was pretty cool.
It is pretty cool.
Way back in the day, Matt and I started this show in 2021, and we had jokingly said we'd do 10 episodes and see what happened, because that's the stat. Like, most podcasts have 10 episodes or fewer.
Okay.
And so I'm feeling pretty good. We're over 130 episodes in at this point.
That's a lot.
It is. But our milestone, I got a notification the other day, we've hit 50,000 downloads.
Oh.
So in the life of the show,
That's
50,000 times this show's been downloaded. And I think that's pretty cool.
I still don't love my voice being heard that much in places that I am not in. But it's cool.
Yeah. It is.
Yeah.
And I don't know, I guess my encouragement, thank you, listeners, for listening and taking the time to
And thanks for saying hello if you've heard the show or talking to us, because that's always really neat to hear, too.
We love to hear from us. So to that point, we have an email address that I check very infrequently, but it's...
But we did today.
Yep, hallwayconvospod@gmail.com. It's hallwayconvospod@gmail.com.
Yep.
We do love to hear from y'all.
You do.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, we feel like we owe you a bit of an explanation. So
We've been on hiatus.
We have. And it's really nice. We've wrapped up our semester. So Dave and I are sitting here post grades.
Grades are done.
Are you done?
Right.
Grading?
I am done.
I am too. Yep,
Yeah.
they're due tomorrow.
Right. Feels good.
Yep, it does. And post graduation.
Yeah.
And I came around the corner to Dordt yesterday, which was a Monday, and all of a sudden all the cars were gone.
Yeah. Isn't that the weirdest feeling?
All the students. The parking lot was just empty. And you come around that corner every day with it full of cars for a whole year. And then you leave on Friday and the campus is full because of graduation.
Right.
And I come back on Monday and everybody's gone. It's the weirdest thing.
Well, and I always joke, this is no joke, but there's a sense like the end must come. And there's a little bit of me that's just like, okay, students, go off and go do your things for the summer. Yeah. And then it starts getting real quiet on campus.
And it's just so sudden.
Right. And about 3 weeks into the summer, I'm always kind of like, oh, I miss them so much.
I know.
It's good too, right?
Yeah.
We need those rhythms.
Absolutely.
And I remember feeling that way when I taught in K-12 too. Like, it's such a sprint. May is so crazy right up to the end. It is, though. Really, right? And then, like, the change of pace is so welcome. And then I'm always ready somehow by fall to get back to it and do it all again.
It's good. Right? It's a good rhythm. So we are kind of reflecting, and we had some space and some time, and
Finally.
and we were like, well, we were real busy in the spring semester. And so I know it's a lame excuse, but it's our reason for not being here as much as we would have liked to. Yeah. I think our last episode was Christmas.
It was.
Yeah.
Well, we can maybe share just a little bit about that, and not to like toot our own horns. That's not really the point, but just to let the listeners in on the things that we've been doing throughout this semester. Would you be willing to share a little bit?
Right,
You
and
had
I
a
can't
big
remember.
adventure.
I did. I can't remember how much I shared on the podcast last fall, but so one of the things I've been doing this year is CASE, which is the Center for the Advancement of Christian Education. One of the things they do is do searches for principals.
Right.
And I also happen to be on the education committee at my kids' elementary school. So it's a K-8 local. And CASE did a new principal search for us last spring, so in 2025. And we got a wonderful principal who's coming, but he signed a contract for 26-27 and not 25-26. And so my kid's school was vacant, didn't have a leader for the school year, and my good friend Tim, who runs CASE, came in my office one day last spring and said, hey, what if we did it?
And Abby said...
And long story short, I said, okay.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, which is great. I mean, I hope it was a good experience for you.
It was, and I am not a licensed principal. I feel like I need to disclaimer that.
Right.
Tim is, so I also need to point that out. He did a lot of the principal-y stuff. I was really in charge of teacher learning, which I love. Yeah. So I did all the PD. the mentoring of the new teachers, and then I was kind of a warm body in the admin office.
Sure, because sometimes you just need a person.
You do. And so there was admin tasks, obviously, that I did too.
Right.
But he did all the things that required an admin license to sign.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But it was a really good experience being in a K-8 environment again. I feel like I gathered a lot of lessons and learning of my own that I will then be able to share and to use in my college classes.
Absolutely. Well, just the firsthand interacting with kids on a daily basis, working with teachers on the things they're working on.
And even culture and professional development, right? And be able to think about what those things mean for teachers and to hear from teachers directly on such a regular basis about so many things.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you don't have that much of a tight connection between K-12 teachers. But I was in conversation with them every week about a variety of things.
Well, could I put you on the spot? Like what kinds of things came up, and without, keeping confidentiality and stuff, but were there like particular, this is something I hadn't really thought about, but this is teaching today, the things that teachers need to work on, things they need to know?
Boy, I don't know. I think just the reminder of the complex nature of education was a huge takeaway for me.
Yeah.
Like, we are working with complex people. We are working in complex contexts. Two people do not see the same thing the same way.
Sure. Yeah.
Right? Leading with trust for teachers. I feel like I really tried to do that. Because of the nature of the arrangement, we relied a lot on the teachers who were in the building.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yes.
And so, letting them do the things that they know how to do within a structure that works at a building level.
Yeah, that's great.
And thinking through... even classroom management and being in a junior high again was just good for me.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And
because it looks different. Like
it
we
does.
have classroom management at the university level too, but we've got students who are pretty bought in for the most part, right? In education especially, these people want to become teachers. They want the things that we're laying out there for them, right? You still have to manage, but being in a middle school classroom.
Right.
It's different.
And helping teachers walking along, because I wasn't always directly involved, but even walking alongside teachers as they were trying to figure out tricky situations with students or with parents sometimes, or how do you lead with confidence, lead with trust? Yeah, it was good.
Did that ever feel complicated for you because it's your kids' school?
Yeah, Tim took the things that would have been complicated for me that way, which was awesome. Yeah. Because he's outside that community, right? It's outside of Sioux Center, so that was helpful, and I really appreciated that, and it worked really well. We kind of each played to our strengths. And, Yep.
So if I could put you on the spot again, what was one of the big lessons that you took away from this experience that you had? What's something that you'll carry with you into the future, something about yourself, something about the teaching profession?
This is going to sound pretty simple.
Okay.
Who you are really matters, right? As much as what you know and your skill level, right? Listening, being able to communicate well, being able to trust people, to have an approachable presence, to have relationships built, everything that because I really kind of relied on the relationships that I have been building unknowingly in the community for my entire life.
Sure.
Right? And part of the reason it was successful is because of the fact that I know everybody there.
Right.
And on my part. And so I think walking into a room, the way that you are and who you are and your personality and the way that you are able to relate to people is incredibly important in our work.
Oh, yes. And maybe that's the takeaway that listeners could get too.
Yep.
Like, we need to be sure of who we are. We need to know our own identity and what we bring to the table as educators.
Yep.
Too,
and not to say that that skills aren't important. I think they are.
Certainly.
And not to say that certain personalities are valued over other personalities. But we also have to constantly be working on the things that, we have to love mercy. And you know what I mean? We have to be the people that the Bible is calling us to be in order to do the work well.
That's right.
Too.
That's right.
Yeah.
Well, I always come back to Parker Palmer, right? And we teach who we are. There's a real truth to that. Your identity, you can't not bring yourself into the work as a teacher. And
you have to be aware of that and where there are shortfalls that, you need to be aware of. Also, structured leadership, I believed in it Like distributed, structured leadership, I have always believed in. I think our department does it pretty well.
I think so too. We're biased because we're department leaders.
Right. But I think this year just completely reinforced the concept of distributed leadership at a school, right? You have to have different people at the table in conversation. Around complicated issues. You
had the opportunity to work with teacher leaders in the building, though, too, right?
Yeah. So we had a meeting every Tuesday. We had a group of teacher leaders, and we had a K2, a 3-5, a 6-8, a resource, a counselor, an admin person. It was a very good structure that worked really well because everybody could come, have a voice, and then take it back to, it was a direct line to the rest of the faculty.
That's so awesome. Thanks for sharing about your experience there. I love that.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah. And I'm ready to hand it off.
Yeah, I'm sure you are. I wondered if that would be your takeaway, that you never want to be an administrator.
No, I would not say that. I love to work in K-12 schools. I would never put that off the table. Yeah. But
Please don't
ready.
Leave us.
No, and I'm ready to come back to my work here. Fully.
I think that was the joy, that you could continue to do the things that you were called to do here at Dordt, while you also were able to help out a school who needed the support.
And my kids are not totally disowning me, and they were in that school, so I feel pretty excited about that. They liked getting rides to school sometimes.
That feels like a win all the way around.
Yeah, they didn't have to ride the bus some mornings. So
that's great.
Yeah, what about you? What have you been up to?
Yeah, so this is kind of a weird, I feel like there's no way for me to tell this without feeling self-promotion-y, so I'm just going to say it. But I'm grateful I'm at a point in my career, I'm just getting asked to come speak a lot of places. And
which is so fun.
It truly is. And it's filling for me. I love doing that. I love that I have the opportunity to do that, to come alongside schools. I spoke at some conferences. I went back because I was looking at listeners, we every year at Dordt, the faculty, we write an annual contribution and development plan. The things that we're planning to work on in our teaching, in our scholarship, in our academic service, what kind of things. And I was going through doing my review of my plan for this year. And I had committed at the beginning of the year to 13 speaking engagements, which I knew was a lot.
Yep.
It ended up, by the end of it, I'd said yes to a couple more throughout the year. It ended up 15. I had 15 speaking engagements. Now I learned 15 is too many.
Okay.
So I don't know what the right number is, but 15 is too many for sure.
And where most of these have to do with, because you have 2 books,
were
most of them connected to those topics?
Yes, by and large. So, my most recent book is the AI book, Teach Like a Human, which has been a lot of fun, and I think there are just a ton of schools that are navigating, or they're at the beginning of this, and I keep saying to everybody, I don't think there are any true experts in artificial intelligence for K-12 education. Right. I would not even position myself that way, and I literally wrote the book on this. But I think we need to start having better conversations.
It is such a brave new world.
Totally. Yeah. Totally. And I think there are people who are really working hard and becoming experts in this. But anyway, and maybe that's where I'm at with this too. I'm a few steps further down the road so I can coach people into this, I hope. Because I have been thinking a lot about AI for about 5 years now. Anyway, so some of these speaking engagements are, providing professional development for a school. Those are so fun for me. So I'll come to a school, we have clearly laid out plans for here's the things I want to talk about. Sometimes it's AI stuff, sometimes it's teaching Christianly stuff, sometimes it's my whole shtick about positivity and joyful teaching, because I believe deeply in that. This is something we get to do. So let's reframe a little bit. I'm not sugarcoating this, I'm not silver lining, the work is hard.
It is.
Teaching is hard.
It is.
It is incredibly demanding. And yet, we have to be joyful in it. And joy is different than happiness. That's my whole deal, right? There are things in education today I'm not happy about, and yet I'm joyful in the work I get to do. I could go through my laundry list of all the different places I went. I was in the Black Hills in Rapid City back in the fall. I've been to Canada several times this year. I was in Edmonton. I've been in Calgary. I was in New Jersey. I've been to Michigan. I was in Texas speaking at a conference for ACSI. I've been everywhere. I feel like that Johnny Cash song, I've been everywhere.
I've been everywhere. Right?
It does really feel that way.
Canada too,
Yeah,
right?
I was in Canada. I was in Indonesia again last fall.
Right. So you have been all over.
Really, really, which has been a lot of fun. But it just kind of pulls at my attention. And the nice part, I'm at a point in my career too where I'm flexible enough because a lot of my teaching's online, and so I can take that with me. I did not have to cancel class very often.
Right.
I never cancel class. I schedule other things for students to do if I have to be away. This spring, I was only teaching one face-to-face class on campus. It was scheduled on a Monday, Wednesday schedule, and
Because
most of my travel was two-credit class.
Yep.
Most of my travel was Thursdays through Saturdays, and so it worked out quite well. But yeah, anyway. And so I guess maybe looking ahead, so for next year, I'm going to be working also for CASE, the Center for the Advancement of Christian Ed, working with Tim. I'm going to be, again, taking the show on the road, especially doing AI stuff. And so this is my subtle self-promotion for schools who are working on AI stuff. If you're interested, I'll put a link in the show notes. We do have a professional development plan. It could be a whole year plan for schools who are interested in that, just to help us think better about AI's influence.
Timely topic.
I think so, and so I'm grateful that CASE is buying out part of my contract for the year to be able to do that work. And so, yeah, I am. I'm going to...
That's awesome.
That will make it work better for me because this past year, that's what really put me over the edge and why some of the podcasts and other things I really love to do, but it kind of fell off because I had other priorities.
Because we still had Dordt responsibilities.
Yep. And that's just going to free up a little bit more of my time.
Interestingly, one of the exams that I always do, I have conversations with students around my table in groups. Yeah. Right? You sometimes hear them, I think, from your office down the hallway.
I get to be down the hall,
Yep. And one of the things that came out of that interview in this class, it's a planning, instruction, and assessment class. So I'm teaching secondary majors how to basically plan backwards, right? How do you start with standards and goals and work backwards to assessments and then to daily lessons. And we talk about AI quite a bit in that class because one of the things that is a goal in there is technology. And also when they're building an assessment, I teach them that you can use AI to build a rubric.
Right. It's such a great example. Totally.
Right? And you can use AI to help you generate maybe a worksheet or guided notes or something like that. And so we talk about ethical and unethical uses, and I say, you can use it in your lesson planning. You have to acknowledge it. You have to tell me where you used it. Here's what you can't use it for. You can't write your worldview statement with it.
Right.
Because that has to be your own thinking. Right. I need you to be able to think that through on your own. But here's the things that I don't care if you use it for, or that you should use it for to save yourself time as a teacher.
Right. And to kind of get them in a mindset.
Right. Here's how teachers, and we have a lot of conversations about when is it okay for teachers to use and when not. And in that final conversation, one of the students said to me, this is the first time we've ever really talked about or been encouraged to interact with AI in a way that makes sense for our profession.
Right.
Otherwise, it feels like it's all just forbidden.
Right. Well,
and that we shouldn't do it, and everyone does.
Exactly. And this is where I come down with this too. So two thoughts on that. First is I use the 80% rule. Like the AI can only ever get you 80% of the way there. It's never going to get you 100% of the way there. And we shouldn't pretend that it's going to, right? So at this point, maybe there will come a day down the road in the future that AI, the algorithms are better than that. But I want to have human hands on the wheel, right? And so I always tell students too, AI is your co-pilot, not your autopilot. It's your co-pilot, not your autopilot. Right? So that's the first. And then the second is when we think about ethical use, and I've got some guidelines in the book about this, but my biggest one, and this is the one people always feel a little icky about, but ethical use means you should feel 100% comfortable explaining to somebody how, when, and why you used AI. And if you don't feel 100% comfortable, then it's probably a sign this is maybe an unethical use, right? But to use it for creating a rubric, yes. To me, that feels like low-hanging fruit. It's not like total scut work, but it's like takes so much time and mental energy from you as a teacher.
And it does take some effort to get the input correct that you want it to
write a good prompt,
spit back out, right?
And then plan to iterate, right? Like that's always, and I can get you 80% of the way there. I'm never going to have it 100% exactly that's not quite what I want. Okay, well then you fix it, but you saved an hour, of creating that rubric, and then it gives you time to do other things that you can't replicate with the machine.
Yes.
That's my whole shtick on this too. But
it's good stuff. But anyways, I feel like that was a little bit of a sidetrack.
Yeah. But I'm so glad you're having those conversations with students because I think we do need to destigmatize.
And also, I'm not an expert. I don't use it very
yeah,
much.
right.
And so it's good for me to figure some of that out and
For
to
sure.
experiment with it and to talk, because I know teachers in the field are using it
Right,
for some
right.
of that too. And I want to prepare them for that as well.
And we should recognize, this is my other thing I always tell teachers when we're working with AI stuff, humans use tools to do their work. Like, this is part of how we're created to be. We create things. We are created to create things.
Yeah.
We innovate things. And if I'm going to go dig a hole in my backyard, I'm going to use a shovel because that's the right tool for the job.
Yeah.
Right? I don't need a backhoe to plant radish seeds. Right? Like, that's not okay. And I think sometimes we use tools haphazardly, or we're using
Yeah.
the wrong tool for the job. And sometimes AI is not the right tool for the
Right.
job. Sometimes it is. And I think we can, again, I hope that just kind of demystifies and destigmatizes it a
Right.
little bit for people to say, let's just
Good.
learn how this stuff works. And how we can use these tools, because they are powerful tools, and sometimes they are going to be very helpful.
And sometimes it's good for me to have to tell them, and your brain needs to learn how to do this process, so you can't use AI for it, because the
Yes.
whole point of this is to form you.
Okay, so then let me lay this out here. So I have a new book project in the works here too. Okay, so my last book was Teach Like a Human. My new one is written, that was for teachers. This new one is going to be written for students, and it's going to be Learn Like a Human.
Okay.
And so to kind of get them into that mindset, again, I want to destigmatize this, because
Yep.
people are going to use AI. I'm not naive about this.
Right.
But there's a time and a place to use it, and there's a time and a place to not use it. And so how do we think about what the machine is doing to us? We think of it as we're doing things to the machine, but no, it's a reciprocal relationship.
Absolutely.
Our tools shape us too.
Right.
And some of it's very counterproductive for learning,
Yep.
and that's the part I'm very concerned about. Actually, I think there are ways we could use AI that are counterproductive for teaching, for that matter.
Yeah,
And,
agree.
Right? I guess my example I always go to for that is, can you use AI to give feedback to student work? I feel very uncomfortable with it. I know there are teachers who are doing this. I'm not calling you out. If that's you, dear listener, I'm not
and
calling
I
you
also
out.
think there's a difference between, because there's some form of it that's been around for a long time. So
Right.
automatically graded quizzes that are multiple choice.
Yes.
Right?
But that's a different kind of a
than
thing.
a qualitative feedback.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Agree.
And that's one of those places I am just unwilling. I think teaching like a human means
Yeah.
I'm
I
going to be the
wouldn't
one
I wouldn't
giving
even know how
students
to do
feedback.
that.
Yeah. I can tell
Can't
you, but
even,
we'll keep that offline.
Yeah. Right? But I need to know my students' work.
Yeah.
And they
Well,
need
that's
to hear my
right.
voice
Exactly.
in it. Right?
I think so, because that's the real work of teaching and learning. It's this relationship part.
Yeah,
that
and
you
we
can't
talked about
minimize
that in my undergrad class too, about when is it okay to use AI to email parents?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
And when should it be your voice?
Right.
And what's the difference between composing versus tweaking
Right. Yeah.
for clarity?
I feel the same way.
Yeah.
And I think there is an ethical way you can do that, but this is, again, one of my principles is the relationship test. I stole this from my friend George Velichanos, who teaches at University of Minnesota, and his take is, how would the recipient feel if they knew it was 100% AI generated? Right? If it's communication about the field trip that's upcoming, okay, that's one thing. If you're writing your grandfather's eulogy with AI, I think that's a problem, actually, right? Because, there's a sense in which my humanity should be on full display in this too, right?
Yeah.
Anyway.
That's a good point.
Anyway. So, that's kind of maybe the redux of why we've been on hiatus this semester.
We've been doing other things.
Yeah, and we get to do all these things too, but this is
Which
not
is
out
part
of
of the beauty of higher ed.
that's right. Not out of neglect for the show. How many times this semester I stopped by, it's like, no, we don't have time. Okay, and multiple times we both kind of just are like, we don't have the margin. So
but we hope to next fall.
Correct.
That's what else we wanted to say.
Yes. So summers we've decided are kind of hiatus for us. We're busy doing other things, family stuff, other work.
And we're just not here regularly at the same time.
That's right. But come fall, we do anticipate a whole new season starting in the fall. And hopefully we'll get some of our colleagues in again as guests. We've got colleagues who have wonderful expertise to share that we think you, dear listeners, are going to benefit from. We've got other topics that we'd like to bring up.
Yeah, now that we haven't been talking for a while,
Yeah,
we
that's
got
right.
stored up
We got
things.
a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And of course, we're always interested in hearing from you, listeners. The things that you're wondering about, interested in, curious about, you can always drop us a line. Again, it's hallwayconvospod@gmail.com, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah. Thanks, friend. This was really good to sit down together again.
It's always life-giving.
Yeah, I feel the same way. Friends, we know that your time is valuable. We want to thank you for joining us today for another hallway conversation. Whether it's this day, this week, this month, this year, as you're concluding your school year, we do hope the Lord gives you what you stand in need of. We want to thank you for the good, God-delighting work you're doing in your schools and communities. And as you go into this week, may the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord turn his face toward you and give you peace, give you peace, give you peace. Amen. We hope you have a good week, everyone.
Bye.
Hallway Conversations was originally dreamed up by Matt Beamers and Dave Mulder during one of their actual Hallway Conversations. It's created and produced by Abby DeGroat and Dave Mulder. Our music is by Ethan Mulder. Hallway Conversations is generously supported by the Center for the Advancement of Christian Education at Dordt University. You can find out more about the good work CASE is doing at cace.org. Thanks for listening, friends. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah,
it's good to be back at it.
I like it.
I truly have missed this.
I think it's good.
Yeah.
I am ready to do it too.
It charges me up again.
Good.